Earlier this month, my friends at Apexel launched and sent me over their new telemacro lens setup, which is the APL-TM6. I've been able to go out with it a couple of times. So in this video, I'm going to let you know the A, B, C, D to Z of the Apexel APL-TM6. By the way, if you're new here, my name is David Joseph. I'm a macro wildlife photographer from Nigeria. The first thing I want to talk about in this lens is the overview of it. It's a telephoto lens and a macro lens, or should I say a macro filter. And it can also work as a telescope. It's a 3-in-1 kind of thing. So you're not just buying a telephoto lens or a macro lens, you're buying a telephoto, a macro lens, and of course a telescope. Very good for stalking people or observing birds. The build quality of this setup is very good. I think it's made of metal and that kind of makes it weigh a little bit. In terms of compatibility, you don't need to worry about this fitting into your phone. It fits 99% of phones available. Focusing on this lens is completely manual. You just can't use your phone, tap anywhere on the screen and it will focus. Image quality on these lenses, just like the sharpness, is decent and sometimes questionable. It does have chromatic aberration, but I mean, it's not as if this is a very expensive lens, so you can expect that. And color reproduction, I think I'm just a bit spoiled because I've been using an actual camera and a very good macro lens, so maybe I'm a little bit too hard there. So I'll just say it's decent. It's decent. But for the macro, because I've been using Apexel macro lenses for a very long time, I think I've used 4 different ones. I don't think it's the best one. If you actually need a macro lens that will give you super image quality, I recommend you get specific Apexel macro lenses like the Apexel 100mm macro lens. Those ones just very excellent. In terms of range and distance from subject, this is on paper 150mm, but in practice 300mm. And why it's so is because when you attach this lens, it creates a circle in the middle of your phone camera screen, and that is where you will see your subject and everything. Now the other part, that dark, that black, and to eliminate that, you have to zoom in. You have to zoom in to like 1.8 or 1.9 or 2x to eliminate that, and that means you are having 300mm. Even though I know you are losing quality, and that was what I said earlier, because that drops quality if your phone does not have 2x lossless zoom or maybe a periscope lens, so you lose quality. However, if you have a phone that has 2 times zoom or maybe 3.5 or even a 5 times periscope zoom lens, you won't lose quality and you will get more range. So this is very good, especially if you have a great phone. And that also applies for this. If you have a phone with 2x lossless zoom, it won't be a problem. If your phone can do more than 2x, that means you're also getting more magnification. That's insane, believe me. More magnification and much more distance. So yeah, it's going to be very good if you want to capture things like snakes and snake eyes. I'm just thinking of wild stuff with this lens. However, if you have a budget phone, then it's going to be very sad because you are losing quality and you're not really going to be getting banger shots with it. Back to this one and why I prefer specific Apexel macro lenses to it. The first reason is because I feel this setup is not a macro setup. Now hear me out. This setup is a telephoto setup, but Apexel, being so kind and innovative, decide to give us nature lovers a close-up filter, or let's say macro lens, whichever one you prefer, so that while we are able to capture from afar, we can also get close if we want. That means this is the primary lens and this is just an add-on. Now, if you're using a specific Apexel macro lens and you attach it to your phone, you'll just get very tiny dark spots, which 1.1x or 1.2x will eliminate it. But with this one, you'll need 1.8, 1.9 or 2x to clear it out, and that means you're losing so much quality. If it were a specific macro lens, that wouldn't have happened. And another thing is that it's not as sharp as specific Apexel macro lenses. Specific Apexel macro lenses are just so sharp, like very sharp, very professional. I used it when I was just a mobile photographer, and even some of my best works till now were captured with the Apexel lenses. Those lenses are so good, and this does not compare to it. However, this does have its own place in the Apexel lens lineup and the mobile macro photography world. Like if you want to capture wild things like snakes, it's very good because you get so much distance from the subject. However, to be able to achieve a result you'd be proud of, you need a very good phone, a phone that you can trust the sharpness, and of course, a phone that has like 2x lossless zoom. So this lens setup goes for 58.9 euros on the Apexel official site. I don't know if that is fairly priced or maybe overpriced. I don't use euros. So let me know what you think, if you think it's overpriced or if it's fair or even underpriced. For my final thoughts, I think this can be better. I mean, it's first generation and Apexel, they've been so innovative. There were points I used their macro lenses and I felt, what can beat this? But ahead of this, I was like, okay, maybe this can beat it. I don't think it has for now, but new editions and later ones may definitely beat those ones. So this is very good, or this will be very good. That will be very good when it happens. Yeah. So that's my first thought on this. The second one is, if you are a nature lover, explorer, maybe teacher, scientist, and you just like to explore things, just like to try things, this is definitely for you. If you are one of such people who won't care about image quality, for the macro especially, and you just want to have fun observing nature, playing with things, and maybe, yeah, it's Christmas is around the corner, you could just get it for someone. So it really works well in those aspects. This lens serves three purposes, and it does two of them very well. And maybe if you have a good phone, you could say it does this one very well as well. The macro, I mean. If you've already used this lens, let me know what you think of it, the image quality, and just how it is for you. That's it for this video. If you haven't already, do subscribe to the channel because I have another review video coming, and probably before off. One light is off. Which light is that? The key light. Wow, this is Nigeria. So see you next time.